It takes courage to grow up and to become who you really are.
I remember it like yesterday. I was at rock bottom emotionally, financially, and mentally. I was positive that everything I'd worked for was slipping away. And for a while, I didn't see a way out. I can't explain it. Maybe you know what I mean. That feeling like you're drowning and no one notices. When I couldn't deny it any longer, I conceded that I was losing myself, made from the ground up, out of the mud business, created from no more than a burning desire. With that went my self-confidence, self-respect, vision and faith. I had poured everything into it, time, energy and dreams. When it failed, it felt like more than just a business closing its doors. It felt like a part of me was closing too, and it wasn't just the flowing finances, but the feeling I got inside when my wife or someone I valued in my life told me they were proud of me. Today I succeed not in the experience, but through it. And what I learned from that experience is what I want to share with you right now. Tough times aren't meant to destroy us, they're meant to build us. It's easy to say in hindsight, but when you're in the trenches, it feels impossible to see beyond the pain. But resilience, true resilience, is forged in those moments of despair. It's born when you decide that even though everything is stacked against you, you're going to rise anyway. Here's what I've learned about resilience. It's not about bouncing back to who you were before the storm. It's about becoming someone stronger, someone wiser. Resilience is the ability to use those tough times as stepping stones to a future you didn't think was possible. It's in those moments that you grow. Think of it this way. When you hit rock bottom, you've actually found the foundation. There's nowhere else to go but up. But how do you cultivate resilience when everything feels like it's falling apart? The first thing I had to do was embrace the struggle. I had to stop running from the pain, from the embarrassment, from the feeling of failure. I had to look it in the eye and say, okay, I'm here, this is my reality. But it won't be my reality forever. Only when we accept our circumstances can we gain the power to change them. You've got to stop asking, why me, and start asking, what can I learn from this? Tip 2, focus on small victories. So naturally, the next thing I did was I focused on small wins. When I lost my business, it was easy to get overwhelmed by the big picture of how I'd ever rebuild. But resilience isn't about giant leaps. It's about small steps, one small victory after another. For me, that meant getting out of bed each day, making one call, sending one email, and just taking one step. That's how momentum works. And before you know it, those small wins build into something greater than you thought possible. Tip 3, remember your why. Maybe the most important thing I can tell you is to remember your why. When everything seems pointless, you have to dig deep and reconnect with what drives you. I had to ask myself, why did I start this journey in the first place? I had to remind myself of the passion I had before the setback, the vision that pushed me forward even when things were going well. I had one task before me, to believe that the passion was still there, buried under the fear and frustration. Whatever you're going through right now, I promise you, your why is still there. It might be buried deep, but it's there, waiting for you to find it again. From one battle-ready warrior to another, if you're going through something right now, if life has you backed into a corner, even knocked down, I want you to remember this. Your struggle is not your end. It's your beginning, and part of your journey to the next levels of life. The tough times, they're not roadblocks. They're stepping stones, pushing you towards something greater than you can see right now. If I hadn't gone through my own failure, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you. I wouldn't have learned how resilient I really am. Let me tell you something. You won't believe how resilient you're God-wired to be until you're on the other side of your struggle, looking back and realizing it wasn't the end of you, it was the making of you. Fax machine. I'm telling you nothing more than keep going, keep fighting. Your resilience is your greatest weapon, and trust me, you're stronger than you think. Remember this at every future crossroad, and remember it when it's smooth sailing and you are coasting in autopilot and muting your hunger for life. When the storm subsides, which it will, it's not the memory of the winds and rain, but the bright, steady light of your comeback that illuminates your path. When the breaks are bad, when life is rough, even when the state of your bullshit is self-made, turn the tough times into stepping stones. Step out of the hole onto the unwavering bridge, cross onto the path of faith and belief through survival. The path you create with resilience is the ultimate path to the greatest you. As a traveler of my own worn path, stay on it, for I tell you with all of my heart, you've got this.